Coach, the 85th minute against Stanford turned a well-played potential win into a disappointing loss. Does the result completely detract from the team's performance in that game?
Well, unfortunately, the result does cast a big shadow over the performance. I thought we played ever so well for the most part for those 85 minutes. And that's why this is such a cruel sport sometimes. And when you look at all the good things that we did do, and to have that erased in a matter of 5 minutes, it's gutting for all of us. But when you move forward, you have to learn from it, and you have to take the positives out of it. But I know at the end of the day, you don't want to have that learning moment too much. But unfortunately, it was one we let slip away for sure.
You said that Sunday's performance against Cal really didn't reflect a 1-0 defeat, that the team played better than that result. Do you sense any frustration with the guys when they just couldn't find that tying goal?
Yeah, the guys are frustrated for sure because we had total dominating performance, and we reflected back on the weekend with 180 minutes played. We played the way we needed to play for 173 of those minutes. And the last 5 of the Thursday night game and the first 2 of the Sunday game were the minutes that cost us. And so what we need to do is make sure we control every minute if possible. And when plays are made in those moments where we don't have the momentum, that we can stand tall and make sure that we don't get bit by it. Because overall, the performance was very good, especially on Sunday. Sunday was very comprehensive attacking play by us that unfortunately gets overshadowed by second-minute corner kick, and a corner kick that we feel that we could probably defend that 9 times out of 10 for sure, but we didn't make the play when it mattered in that time. But the response by the guys was ever so well. They responded very positive, and I thought that in the light of a 1-0 being down for the whole game, we were relentless how we attacked. The guys were relentless how they played together. And it was actually really fun to watch. It's just the scoreline is the last piece that let us down.
Now, looking ahead to this weekend, UCLA and San Diego State come in, and you played each of them to a 1-0 result a few weeks ago. Do you expect low-scoring games again this weekend?
Well, I don't know if there's low scoring. I think low scoring would be nice, but at the end of the day, these are 1-goal games. You're talking about the last 5 or 6 games have been 1-goal games, and I think the focus has got to be on maybe the 5 or 6 moments in the match that are going to determine whether you're going to be the 1-goal victor or the 1-goal loser. I think for us, if we come out like we did against Cal and tighten things up, it's not an overhaul. We don't need an overhaul. What we need is to make sure we're tight on the insignificant details that could become significant, and then compete hard like we did, and then with that competition we can play. We can play to our ability, because we certainly have ability out there. So as this has been such a disappointing and gutting weekend for us, moving forward, it's far from having to scrap everything, because it's not that. We're actually playing the way we need to play. We just got to take care of the key moments so that they come back to bless us versus haunt us.
Would you look at those moments, you say there's 5 or 6 in each game that change, especially in a 1-goal game, do you look at them more as frustrating that you couldn't accomplish it, or as encouraging that, like you were saying, it's that you don't need to overhaul the whole program?
Well, I think at first it is frustration because it's so hard to score in soccer. And so when you let up soft goals, it's really a major advantage you're given to the other team. So I think at first it's certainly from a frustration point of view, but these are things that are fixable. 99% of the stuff deals with mentality, and attitude and approach. So when things don't come across as insignificant, they do become significant. And we want to make sure we're in control of that destination. In the bigger picture, how we're playing very well. I mean, we're playing very, very well. I can't remember a time as an assistant or a head coach where we dominated Cal at Cal like that. outside of the scoreline. I can't remember. And if we were to play that game like that a couple more times, I'm sure we would get the result. And so we just got to kind of stay the course that way and making sure that our head's in tune, because there's no reason for the guys to be too disappointed outside of those two results that it should tarnish their attitude and work ethic. I think that's been good, so we're going to keep that going this weekend.
Are you hoping for some traditional late October Oregon weather with the Southern California teams coming, or with the style that Oregon State plays, are you hoping that maybe the weather holds off a little bit?
Well, it's going to be cooler than the California teams are used to, and it's a tough trip coming up here for those guys, and so I think right away, we should have an advantage, but we can't be too concerned about that. We need to maximize everything that we need to get out of this particular homestand, and we have a lot going for us outside the results. We're playing well. I think the attitude's been right. The key piece, though, when you run into a patch like this, is making sure that you still believe you can do it, that you can put the work in, you can compete, and stay together on these things. And I think our guys will do that, because this is a very good team that at this point needs to make sure they're focused on the little insignificant details that become significant. And I think going into this weekend, we're excited to play these teams, and starting with Friday against UCLA, because when we played them last time, I thought it was a tight game that came down to 2 or 3 moments. And so we need to be on the better half of those 2 or 3 moments in both games.
Is this a good situation to find out the leadership of the players, maybe some of the upperclassmen, on how they handle situations like this?
Absolutely, because especially for the seniors, this is the last 3 regular season home games for them, and so you kind of find out what certain people are made of when you put finality into the mix, and so. And I think our guys will respond accordingly. They'll respond well, and they want to, and they're going to need to. But at the end of the day, I think it's making sure that the guys understand that it's making these adjustments so that when they do adjust and they can address these little points and still compete and still have that attitude and approach, that when we go out, they can unlock their talent.
And final thing, on one of the off days, you guys had the chance to visit the Pac-12 Network Studios. Do they still have that new car smell?
It's awesome. The Pac-12 Network Studios and the Pac-12 Enterprises building in San Francisco does have a new car smell. They just moved in not too long ago, and they were really, really awesome about showing all the kids around, and we took pictures and went down to the studio where they do a lot of their productions, and really gave our guys an inside look on what it's all about, and it really had some relevance to a lot of the guys, because they talked about engineers, communication majors, digital media, so on and so forth, and you can kind of see our guys perk up a little bit, because it had some type of relevance to potentially what they would want to do for a career. And it was neat to see in the studio. It's hustling and bustling, and you had videos all up on different rooms. They were cutting, and they were just explaining to us what they're doing now. And Gary Stevenson, who's the Pac-12 Enterprises president, he took the time out to take myself and the coaching staff and kind of take us and explain to us what they're doing and what they're looking at as far as eyes on the future, as far as trying to brand the conference and promote it with technology. It's mind-blowing, the stuff that's out there, and it happened to be the same day where they released the iPhone app for the Pac-12, and so it was really, really neat, and it's just it's kind of humbling, to be honest with you, when you see all that's going in behind the conference to give all of our schools the best chance to be the best conference in the country, and to really provide, along with our institutions, the best experience for our student athletes. It's really, really fun to see. And I think from now on, when our guys watch a Pac-12 Network show, I think they're going to see it a little differently, because they were in the studios and they got to meet the people. So it was pretty awesome.